After 3 years overseas, I came home and found my grandma living like a maid in the $1.05 million house I bought, while my sister and her 3 kids lived there like owners. She didn't even recognize me. I called my lawyer that night. It was time to set things right. My name is Elizabeth. I'm 31, a translator who spent the last 3 years bouncing between conference booths and hotel rooms from Berlin to Abu Dhabi. I'm the oldest child, the quiet fixer, the one who learns everyone's schedules and picks up the slack without being asked. If you need someone to wire money at 2 a.m. across time zones, I'm that person. My sister Maya is the golden one. She's 28, charismatic, always in between opportunities. People lend her cars and couches because she smiles like the bill is tomorrow's problem. I was the opposite. Spreadsheet brain, receipts folder, automatic transfers with notes like, Grandma, meds October. When my contract in Lisbon ended, I flew home. 36 hours of airports and stale coffee, then a rideshare to the house. Not just any house. The house. The $1.05 million place I bought 2 summers ago when the market spiked and everyone told me I was insane. I wasn't buying a trophy. I was buying a promise. Grandma doesn't move again. She gets morning sun for her orchids. She gets a ground floor room and a bathroom with grab bars. That was the deal. I stood on the walkway with my carry-on and a plastic bag of duty-free chocolates for Grandma. The lawn was trimmed, but the porch was cluttered. 3 scooters, a pink helmet, a broken drone wing. A faded wreath said, "Bless this mess." It was January. No holidays left to blame. I knocked. No one answered. The door was unlocked. Inside, voices. Cartoons blaring. A toddler crying because someone had the green cup. I stepped over tiny sneakers and a toppled laundry basket. Then I saw her. Grandma was on her knees, scrubbing under the kitchen table with a sponge the size of a wallet. Her sweater hung off one shoulder. A bucket of gray water sloshed beside her. She didn't look up when I said quietly, "Hey, Grandma, careful." She muttered, still wiping. "Kids spilled juice again. Don't step where it's sticky." "It's me," I said. "It's Elizabeth. I'm home." She kept scrubbing. No flicker of recognition. "Elizabeth," she repeated, like a name she'd heard on TV. "You a friend of Maya's?" My mouth went dry. "I'm family." She finally glanced up. Her eyes searched my face, then slid away like my features didn't click. I crouched to her level. "It's me." Before she could answer, a voice cut in from the hallway. "Can you take the trash out already?" Maya yelled. "Also, we're out of the good yogurt. Get the blueberry kind next time." She walked in, ponytail messy, leggings, a baby on her hip. She saw me and stopped. "Oh," she said. "You weren't supposed to come till Friday." "Hi," I said. She shifted the baby. "Well, welcome, I guess. Don't mind the chaos. We didn't know you were popping in." Grandma went back to the floor. The sponge squeaked. The baby reached for my glasses like I was a stranger at a bus stop. That was the first crack. Not the yelling, not the money, just my own grandmother on the tile, my paid-off floors acting like staff. I put the chocolates on the counter and breathed through my nose. The translator in me, the professional listener, filed everything. Tone, words, mess. I swallowed the tirade rising in my throat. Not yet. "Where's her walker?" I asked. "In the garage," Maya said. "It clutters the hall." I nodded once and said nothing. The first trigger landed like a stone in water. The ripples were coming, but not here, not yet. 3 years ago, the family group chat lit up like a slot machine. Maya was in a pickle. Her lease fell through. Her ex left. Could she stay with Grandma for a while? 2 months max. 3 kids in tow. Just till I find a new place. At the time, Grandma rented a tiny house with steps. She'd fallen twice. I was in Tokyo, 17 hours ahead, translating a patent workshop and calculating risk on the subway. I called every lunch break. "We'll move her," I said. "Ground floor near her doctor. I'll handle it." I found the house, ranch style. Wide doorways, big yard, ridiculous price. Still, I wired the down payment and swallowed the mortgage like a cold pill. Title in my name. Utilities in my name. Insurance in my name. I made one simple rule. Grandma is the priority. Everyone else is a guest. The first month I got 19 FaceTime calls from Maya. "Can you Zelle for groceries? The hot water is weird. Do you mind if I use your Amazon for a few things?" A few things were $600. Crib sheets, blackout curtains, learning toys. I didn't flip out. We were stabilizing. Month 2, unschooling supplies, extracurriculars. Grandma likes this fancy probiotic. My phone became a calculator with feelings. I put everything on a spreadsheet named House. Cell F12 still says Maya oil change $89.99. Column H says LOL. I built a schedule for Grandma's meds. Set up pharmacy delivery. Hired a cleaner for deep work once a month. But the cleaner texted me after the second visit. Hi, I'm so sorry. The lady said they don't need me anymore because there's house help. And I felt weird. House help, I called Grandma. She laughed. I can still wipe a counter, Elizabeth. You shouldn't be on the floor, I said. It's not the floor, she said. It's just low. I asked Maya directly. What happened to the cleaner? We don't need strangers in the house every time, she said. Also, the chemicals she used smelled bad. Relax. Grandma's 83, I said. Exactly, Maya replied. She needs the exercise. One evening, while interpreting a late panel in Dubai, my phone lit up. 12 missed calls from home. Then a text from my neighbor, Mrs. Patel. Sweetie, is everything okay? The kids were throwing rocks at the side fence again. I told them to stop, but your sister said they're just expressing themselves. I messaged Maya. Please keep the kids out of the garden. Those orchids were from Grandpa's funeral week. She replied, then put up a sign. I started noticing the language shift. Your house became the house. The guest room became our room. When I came home for a week that spring, I found a chalkboard by the fridge with a schedule labeled Family Duties. Under Grandma, someone had written, sweep patio, fold laundry, make beds. I erased it and wrote, Grandma rests, full stop. Maya rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. Boundaries aren't drama, I said. She shrugged. Well, boundaries are a two-way street. You can't just drop rules from overseas like a landlord. I am the landlord, I said evenly. She smiled without her eyes. Your family. After I left again, the bills crept up. Water spiked, then electricity. 2 space heaters appeared on the bill in July. Kids like it cozy, Maya texted. In August, there was a $379 charge for a trampoline. Return it, I wrote. She sent a photo of the kids jumping, hair flying. Too late, they love it. September was the first emergency. Car broke down. Need $1,200 today. I sent $800 and asked for the invoice. She sent a screenshot of Venmo request to 3 people. Caption, community care. Every time I pushed back, I became the villain in a story where I owned the house and therefore owed the world. The number that mattered wasn't my income. It was $3,487. Mortgage, insurance, taxes, utilities, meds, groceries. I could recite it in my sleep. Grandma started confusing days. Sometimes she'd call me at 3 a.m. my time and ask if I'd seen her blue cardigan. I'd humor her, open the closet via FaceTime, talk about the weather. She'd settle if I promised pancakes on Sunday. Last fall, I got a message from the HOA. Complaint. Domestics doing yard work during quiet hours. Domestics. We didn't have staff, we had Grandma. That was when I booked a flight home. I didn't tell Maya the exact day. I wanted to see the texture of the house without edits. I wanted to know if my fear was a story or a fact. And that's how I walked into my kitchen and found my grandmother on her knees with a sponge, and my sister calling out orders like I wasn't me. That night, after the house finally went quiet, I sat alone at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and clicked a folder labeled House. Inside it was a subfolder called Legal. I picked up my phone and called my lawyer. He answered on the second ring. Elizabeth burning the midnight oil. Yeah, I said. It's time to set things right. I didn't sleep. I made coffee at 5:12 a.m. and watched the sky go from bruised to pale. The house was quiet in a way it never is online. No typing clicks, no translation relays, just the hum of a refrigerator I paid for, and kids' artwork taped to cabinets I chose. At 7:03, my phone pinged. Got your email, my lawyer wrote. We can proceed on 3 tracks. 1. Formal notice to vacate per guest agreement. 2. Immediate safety modifications for your grandmother. 3. Cost accounting for damages. Want me to draft? I typed yes to all 3. That morning, I cooked pancakes while the house woke up. The middle child wandered in, rubbing his eyes. Do you work here? He asked, sincere. I live here, I said. Like Mommy, like Grandma, I added. Maya came in last, hair in a bun, scrolling. She didn't say good morning. She saw the pancakes and said, Oh, good, you cooked. They're for Grandma, I said, and the kids. She poured coffee and leaned against the counter. So, about last night. You'll get an email this afternoon, I said, from my lawyer. She blinked. You're kidding. I slid a plate to Grandma and cut a pancake into quarters. She smiled, blueberry on her lip. Elizabeth, Maya said, voice low, you can't be serious. I am, I said. This stops. Her eyes filled like someone had turned on a faucet. You don't understand how hard it is with 3 kids. I'm doing my best. I believe you, I said, but your best doesn't get to be paid for with her dignity. She stared at me. So what? You're going to evict your own sister? In this economy? This isn't about revenge, I said, the words landing before I could dress them up. This is about closure. Closure, she repeated like it was a punchline. I'm closing the gap between what I paid for and what's happening, I said. I'm closing the gap between guest and owner. I'm closing the gap where Grandma cleans your mess for rent you don't pay. She laughed once, ugly. We're family. You said you'd stay 2 months, I said. It's been 19. She opened her mouth, then shut it. The baby began to fuss. One of the boys yelled from the hallway, Mom, he ate the blue Play-Doh. I looked at Grandma. Do you want pancakes tomorrow? I asked, voice soft. Her mouth quirked. With blueberries? Yeah, I said, with blueberries. Maya's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. I can't do this right now. We'll talk after bedtime. We'll talk tonight, I said. Fine, she snapped. Just stop judging me. You've been on vacation. I thought of 12-hour days and headsets and suits that pinched. Right, I said. Vacation. That night, after everyone fell into their screens and then into sleep, I stood in the doorway of the office and listened to Grandma snore softly in a room that wasn't designed for her body. I set the walker by her bed. Then I went to the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and clicked open the folder labeled House, Legal. I didn't write an angry message. I wrote a list, dates, amounts, promises, photos. I attached the HOA letter about domestics, the water bill spike, the trampoline receipt. I scrolled through texts where 2 months became, till the school year ends, became, the kids need stability, became, the market is crazy. I drafted one email. Subject, immediate steps. I kept the tone the way I speak when 2 CEOs are arguing. Neutral, plain, final. Then I called my lawyer. He answered on the second ring. Elizabeth, he said. Yeah, I said, it's time. At 11:27 a.m. the next day, the email went out. Notice to vacate in 60 days with an earlier move-out incentive. I'd cover first month's rent somewhere smaller if she left in 30. A list of safety changes. Walker in the hall, rugs with grips, grab bars reinstalled, cleaning service reinstated weekly, an offer to pay for 3 afternoons of childcare a week for 1 month to help her pack. At 12:02, my phone started vibrating like it had a fever. Mom, are you serious? Aunt Lena, family doesn't do this. Cousin Joe, call me, this looks bad. Unknown number, you monster. Group chat, 47 new messages. Maya, 26 missed calls. I set the phone face down and made Grandma tea. At 2:40, my lawyer called. You'll get blowback, he said. Stay boring. Owners lose when they get emotional. Got it, I said. At 3:15, the first Facebook post went up. A screenshot arrived via 3 cousins. Imagine being thrown out with 3 kids by your own sister because she wants to set boundaries. The comments bloomed. Praying for you. Women can be so cold. She's probably jealous. At 3:20, I texted Maya. Please remove the post. We can keep this offline. She replied, it's my story. Then tell the whole story, I wrote and attached a photo. Grandma's knees on the tile, the sponge, the bucket. No response. Day 2, my mother showed up with a casserole like weaponry. She stood in the doorway and said, you won't actually put them on the street. No, I said. I offered to pay first month's rent and childcare. You're making Maya look like a bad mother. She's not a bad mother, I said. She made a bad situation permanent. You promised to support family, she said. I promised to support Grandma, I said. She's family, my mother said. She's the reason we have the word, I replied. My mother sighed, the heavy, disappointed sigh I grew up under. You think you're better because you have money now. I don't think I'm better, I said. I think I'm done. Day 5, the locks got serviced, not changed. Serviced. The locksmith adjusted the sticky back door and replaced a loose strike plate. I sent Maya the receipt and a note. Safety. Day 7, the cleaner came back. She texted me a photo of fresh towels rolled like little hotels and wrote, she smiled so big today. Day 9, I moved Grandma back to the big bedroom. Is this okay? I asked. She patted my cheek. My bones already said thank you. That night, Maya cornered me in the hall. I found an apartment, she said. It's small. I'll pay first month. And the deposit? I asked. She swallowed. And the deposit? You're really doing this, she said, like it was finally dawning. Yeah, I said, I am. You changed. I translated storms for 3 years, I said. I learned how to say no in 6 languages. Turns out I needed it in 1. She looked at the carpet, then at me. Are you happy? No, I said, not happy. Clear. Day 16. Movers came. The kids watched boxes like TV. Maya labeled with a Sharpie and a shaking hand. I loaded the heaviest things. At one point she said, "Thank you," so quietly I wouldn't have heard if I was anyone else. Day 19, Grandma sat on the patio with a blanket over her knees. I thought I lost you when you left. You didn't, I said. I got loud, she squinted at me. You were always loud, she said, just not with your mouth. We both laughed. Day 27, Maya handed me her keys. She cried in the driveway. I didn't hug her first. I let her decide. She did. It was awkward and wet and real. That night, the house felt enormous. I walked room to room, not to gloat, but to reset. I opened windows. I threw away 100 broken crayons. I patched 2 holes where a dartboard had been. I erased the chalkboard schedule fully. Then I wrote, Big Grandma nap, walk, phone Elizabeth. I put a new photo in the hallway. Grandma and me on the porch, both of us in sunglasses, her orchids behind us. The caption in my head said, She knows me. The phone kept lighting up. 74 missed calls one day, then 19, then 8, then 2. The silence after wasn't peace. It was consequence. I let it be. People think closure is dramatic. A slam, a door. For me, it was a rhythm. Meds at 9, tea at 2, pancakes every Tuesday. Every Thursday we walked to the mailbox. She told me stories I'd heard 100 times like they were new. I never corrected the details. What did it matter? One afternoon, I explained what I'd done in simple words. I told Maya she couldn't live here anymore, I said, because you're not the help. This is your house. She nodded. I like the big room, she said, and the grab bars. Me too, I said. Maya texts sometimes. Photos of the kids in a living room that looks like a starter kit, the kind of place where you begin again. She always adds a line. They miss you. I answer when I have capacity. I say no to requests that smell like the old days. I say yes to birthday cake. Mom still thinks I should have handled it quietly. She sends long messages about compassion. I reply with logistics. Grandma's appointment is at 10:30. Can you drive? Sometimes she does. A neighbor saw me pushing Grandma's walker and said, I heard there was family drama. There was, I said. You did what you had to. I did what I promised, I said. The moral isn't that I won. There was no scoreboard, no courtroom monologue, no triumphant soundtrack. The moral is that boundaries are love with a spine. I wrote a check for a house, but that wasn't the gift. The gift was refusing to let a promise warp into a job description for an old woman with soft hands and a sharp tongue who taught me that saying no is not cruelty, it's care. I used to think my role was translator. Make messy feelings polite. Make demands sound reasonable. Make my own needs sound optional. Now I translate for one person only, myself. Here's the sentence that finally landed without stuttering. I will not fund my own erasure. I won't bankroll chaos to keep the peace. I won't confuse silence with loyalty. I won't pretend that love means unlimited access to my wallet, my time, or my home. I will help, but not at the price of harm. I meant it then as a line in an argument. I mean it now as a way of living. Grandma recognizes me every morning. That's my closure. Not perfect, not cinematic, just a warm kitchen, a steady walker, pancakes on Tuesdays, and a door that opens to the person I actually am. And that's enough.